So we're saying that even the higher officers, so their devotion to the cause has to be like the foot soldier. On that level, and pure Mesiras Nefesh, notwithstanding that they're in the tactical room, they're planning the strategy of Milchama, as we addressed yesterday a little bit. Now, my layout is different than you have, I can see. Anyway, so we're up to Noga Belibam. It would be the closest number is order 25. It's after the quotes. It's a different. Do you have it? It's the Lashon of Fidi Rebbe that talking about the soldiers. He describes the soldier. By Maamorim. So who are the soldiers? Asher Yiras Hashem Noga Belibam. That the fear of Hashem illuminates their hearts. Noga with the hay. So Marsh Medaik Noga Belibam. Heinlefish Beginnes Etzem and Neshama. We're talking about Etzem and Neshama here. Shalamayla Beginnes Hagiloyim, which is beyond manifestation. So where that found? Dafke Belev Libemech. It's a chiddush because Al Rebbe says never shalikis is beikir in the mayach. Never shabahamis is in the heart. That's the giluim of the never shalikis, the seichel, the conscious construct. But the etzem is dafke belev. V'hine kishem shebemachos da'ara, just like earthly kingship. In order to achieve victory, so the king squanders, as it were, casts out his treasures, and gives them to the soldiers. Likewise, in order to achieve victory over the Yitzhahara, the big victory over Golos, so so this Eitzer above, which is beyond revelation, is opened, and this is given to Yidin is Gala and that's what stirs this level of the treasure of Yerushalayim, which lies at the core of the neshama, higher even than the level of Yechida, as explained earlier. That's Milamayla. The Eibishter opens up the Eitzeres, and that's Ma'eirer, that's a Maneshama. Likewise, Milamata Lamayla. Shal Yedei, she sold Oimdim, you do turn the page, so it is the same layout. She sold Oimdim Mesiras Nefesh. No. So through Yidden being in a matzah Mesiras Nefesh, Ma'eirim, as Eitzer Shirish Mamshabahem, they arouse their own level of Yerushalayim. There's Aime Yidin, there's no other way. As a Ruach, I see Ruach, one spirit brings the other. So then, in other words, he's saying, it seems that this is the general model. There's the Serusa del Eila that comes before the Avodah, the empowerment, then comes the Avodah, and then there comes the Serusa del Eila as a result of the Avodah. So within the Eitzer, there are two levels, as it were. As a result of our Avodah, so there's a new opening of the Eitzer. It's expressed in the Pasuk, Yiftach Havai Lacha Es Yitzari Atov, Pashas Kisavai, Bikurim. The Eibishter will open up for you his good storehouse. Zem Messiah Oisem Avidosam, and this helps them in the Avodah, Lichvish Hashem Milchama. So there's the siyur that comes before the whole avodah, then there's the siyur that comes in the avodah. the help before and the help that help during. As explained the diak of Tuv and Rav Tuv, down here below 10 Tvachim in Shusarabim, in our fragmented world, in a good and revealed way. So this was a Maamer of Tafel based on a Maamer Tzidkas Pirzoinoi, a Maamer of the Fidig Rebbe of Tafel Shpeites, which has the similar themes of Bosi Legani. That's why the Rebbe brings it. Understand this. This is the Maamer that he said Friday night. I'm sorry, this is the Maamer, sorry, Shabbos day. So this will be understood more what we said till now by prefacing the Maamer which was given for the Yom Elula, Bosi Legani Chesikala. So then began Bosi Legani, and this is woven into, they don't have it for us, but it's woven into the Maamer he said, that the Chidushim that he said Shabbos day are woven into the Maamer he said Motzei Shabbos. So we're going to begin now the Maamer Motzei Shabbos, and then when we get to, we'll allow the Rebbe to lead us to Eis Yudalid. When we get to Eis Yudalid, we'll learn Eis Yudalid of the Fidik Rebbe, and then continue the Rebbe's beard. Because we learn Eis Yudalid now, it's out of context, unless you remember everything till now. Aleph, Beis, the summary that the Rebbe gives each year, leading us to the current Eis, is obviously meduyik. It's not cut and paste, where some things are emphasized and some things are not. So let's learn what the Rebbe said, the Fabringen of Motzei Shabbos, Parshas B'Shalach, Yudal Shvat, the third Maamer, Tavshin Chav Daled. Okay, we're clear with what's going on here. It seems that the ha'aras in the Aleph, this is written by the Rebbe. It's not Mogi officially, but he still wrote these ha'aras. The ha'aras that are numbered by the publishers. Bosi Legani Chesikala, so I've come to my guard, my sister, the bride, so it explains in the Hemshech, which was given for the Yom HaYilula. Just to remind you, it was given for the Yartzit of his Baba, which is Yud Shvat, and Yud Gimel Shvat, his grandmother. But it turns out that it was his Hilula. And to remind you also that the origin of this Maamer was not written or said in Tavshin Yud. You remember? I told you the whole story. It's tough. It's tough Reish Pei Gimel. And we don't know who chose it, whether the Rebbe chose it or the Rebbe chose it. But it's Maamer that published it subsequently in Tzimamar and Reish Pei Gimel. He chose that to republish again. It wasn't published at the time. Chassidim never saw that Maamer. It was only in Ksav Yad Kodesh. That he chose to publish it now for his Istalkos, and Istalkos, his mother, and his Baba. Of significance is that was the first time, that period, the first time that the Rebbe saw the Fidig Rebbe. Yeah, and it's Betzim Ayim Azeh. Pashas boy. And in the middle of the Havin calls that, so the Haktim, Bosi Legani Chesikala, it's just woven into the Maamer. So it cuts out the introduction, starts Bosi Legani. And Pashtas, the figure Rebbe chose it. I mean, that's what the Rebbe writes in the Dhamma. He gave it out for his Emilul. So in Pashtas, he chose it. But that's a mystery that is not revealed to us. That is not a mystery because it's one Indian. The Fidig Rebbe is one Hamshach. So what does he say there? He said, as he brings the Medrash, Disa be Medrash, Now, this is interesting. I don't know if to have to research this. The vast majority of the times the Rebbe repeats them. The Bosi Legani is of Shvat. He adds Bimkoimai. Bimkoimai is in the original Maamorim in brackets, and I've told you the story. I showed you physically the story. Remember? What's the dig of Bimkoimai? The Medesh Afanot, the Medesh meaning on Shir HaShirim. Nobody remembers? We made photocopies we showed you, so I'll tell you, we'll show you the copies later. It's a tremendous diuk because the Frierdiker Rebbe does not give Mekoiris in his Maamorim. For Maamorim Chazal, and here all of a sudden he's saying Bimkoimai. So where else would the Medrash be if not Bimkoimai? So it turns out that he's saying that as following to the listener, to the reader, to Chassidim. There are two places in Medrash where the identical Medrash is brought about the seven sinful generations and so on. Not the same meaning, the whole Bir and Bosi Legani. One Bimkoimai on Shir HaShirim, and the other Parshas Nosai. What's the difference? The difference is beyond startling. That the author of the one Bimkoimai is Omar Rabbi Menachem Chasnei. Rabbi Menachem, his son-in-law, said, son-in-law, I forgot to his father. I don't know how many times, if ever, anywhere else in Teresh Balpeh, there's a quotation from Rabbi Menachem, the son-in-law of Pliny. I don't know. If there is, it's rare. But Chassidim was saying that the Frierdiker Rebbe is saying he wants you to look from Koimai. Because there you see, his son-in-law, Rabbi Menachem, says this. An incredible allusion to his, don't have to spell it out. Whereas the Medrash elsewhere is quoted in the name of another Tana. Yeah, the diuk. So, I gave these out, you saw this. So the Medrash and Shir HaShirim, this is Shir HaShirim, and the line so you can see it. Bosi Legani, Rabbi Menachem Chasnei, the Rabbi Elazar Baravuna, B'Shem Rabbi Shimon Rabbi Yoisna. The author is Menachem Chasnei. The same Medrash, Mamish, word for word, in Medrash Rabbi Nosai, who says it, Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Yosi, Bosi Legani. So he wants Bimkoimai. I'm saying it's interestingly here in this Maimer, the Rebbe did not say Bimkoimai. Usually he does. Continue. So it says the Medrash, the Mokim Shayikre B'Tchila. So the diuk is, so Legani Legnuni. Now Gnuni means my bridal chamber. That's how the Medrash teaches the word Legani. The simple meaning, of course, is my garden. So that implies the Mokim Shayikre B'Tchila. It seems there's two diukim in this word Legani. Number one, if you say Legan to the garden, that implies the first time this encounter is happening the first time. No indication there was such an encounter before. And you say it's my garden, so there was already. He was here before. Now he's coming back. That's number one. But the second diuk is in the word Gani, the Gnuni, my bridal chamber. So it's not exactly the same word. It has an extra nun, but as we see, that's the Ifna limit of the Medrash is not bound to the particular letters. It's more looser. Akoponian Makim Shayikre B'Tchila, Hashem is coming back to the place where he was found primarily at the outset. The Ikeshchin B'Tachtein Moishe, because the Ikeshchin was down here. The B'Tchila, beginning Kete Machet, Tois HaShchin Lamata. Before the first Chet HaShchin, was here began the Idmacha, Kach, in Yagdechet, Adam Marishin, through the Chet of Adam Marishin, V'Chatem Shel Acharav, and the
Tzidkas.
Tzidkas, sorry, yeah. V'Chatem Shel Acharav, So the chet of Adam Barishim was chet Tzidkas, and the sins afterwards were the 6 more. Who remembers? Let's go through it. Then comes Cain, Enosh, that then they began to call upon the name in a profane way. After Enosh comes the Doid. What number is that? 3. Then the Doid HaMabel is 4. Doid HaFloga is 5. The 7th is the Mitzrayim, and the middle is Doim. Anshi's Doim, and then the last one is the Mitzrayim, Bisman of Avram. Who are the 7 tzaddikim? Let's just get to that in a minute. Now, so through Tzidkas, so the Shechin is removed from below to above, Adaki Ashvi, to the 7th heaven. They drew the divine presence down from above to below. Each one through his particular avoid. Moishe Rabbeinu is not lashon hamedrash, just paraphrasing. And all 7th are beloved. Now just to remind you, friends, is another gewaldige diuk in the figure of his mime. It's not part of the medrash, and he brings it in brackets from another medrash. Again, a strong allusion to the Deir HaShvi. V'imshicha, and the Deir HaShvi, Moishe Rabbeinu was mamshich merkiya aleph la'oretz. Shezeo ikar avodah, that's the main avodah. So who are the 7 tzaddikim? Let's just go through them, push it in order of birth. Let's go. Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Levi. This down Amram, Kahas, Amram, Moishe. That was 7? Yeah. Okay, that's the 7 tzaddikim. Zeh Masha Kosov, the figure brings the pasuk tzaddikim, the pasuk in Tilim. Simple meaning of the pasuk tzaddikim Yerusha Oretz, the tzaddikim will inherit the land. Yishkinu lad alone, they will dwell upon it forever. He teaches the pasuk as not their reward, but their avodah. Hainush tzaddikim. Now there adds an aleph. What do I mean by tzaddikim? This is, it looks like Savyat Kochek afterwards. In addition to the tzaddikim of those generations, so in addition to that, Gama tzaddikim shebachol doir, tzaddikim of every generation, va'ad, that includes amech kolam tzaddikim, all Yidden that are called tzaddikim. The avoid of every Yid, bekitzer. So what's the avoid conveyed in this pasuk of tzaddikim Yerusha Oretz v'yishkenu lo ad aleha hainish tzaddikim mamshichim? It's the avodah. Yishkenu, it teaches, Yishkenu, they cause to dwell. What level? The level of ad. What's that? He dwells eternally, lofty and holy, transcendent levels of Elikos. So that's the pshat. Yishkenu lo ad aleha. Down here, Sheyir begila lemata, that's the avodah of tzaddik. Clear? How he teaches the pasuk. And avodah. Well, the avodos and biskafia. This is to the avodah of biskafia. What's iskafia? In one word, what's iskafia? Or 2 words?
Holding back. Withholding.
Withholding what?
Holding from people.
Actually means to bend, to compel, to bend oneself, yeah, to break oneself. And miskafia, resist. Or miskafia, boim, the yisapcha, and from miskafia we come to yisapcha, which is not just bending the Yetzer Hara, but transforming it. Not breaking, transforming. Let's translate that. What does that mean? Phrase repeated over and over again, and many Maamorim devoted Oisius of the ותשד Rebbe, Maamorim of the Rebbe, just to these words. And they mean Istalik. Literally, Istalik means
to be removed to.
depart, yeah. And that's the whole diak of what he actually is going to say it in a second. And Yekar the Kutchabrichu, the glory of God. Covet. The Chol Almin in all of the worlds. How would you say?
Yeah.
So what's the diak Istalik? Now this is invoked because it's the stalkus of the ותשד Rebbe, and the point is it doesn't mean that he's gone. Adarab, he's present in an even greater way. That's a lashon we use for tzaddikim, is stalkus, not nifter. Nifter means departed, as in aftoira, by which you take leave, goodbye, over. Potter, same root. But rather istalik daike. What does istalik mean? To depart, the implication is for inyan shel gilui naila b'yos. It's beyond. It's one that's beyond. A very lofty revelation. See Torah Vayakal. So that's worth looking up. So this is what David says. The whole kavan is actually dwell amongst you. Two meanings. I should dwell hainu ha-mishkan u-mikdash. Where? In the Mishkan and the Mikdash Shisham Ha'is Ikir Shechina B'tachtoinim. That's where the Ikir Shechina is. La'achari binyan ha-Mishkan va-Mikdash. Once it's built. That's the first word, v'shachanti. Where's that? In the Mishkan. U'b'soicham, and as the Shalah says, b'soichel inem el b'soicham. So Chassidus brings it as a Maimah Chazal, but it's not. We don't have it in any of our midrashim. We find it in the Reishis Chachma and the Shalah. I said the Alshich. I'm sorry. So it could be that they did have the midrashim, but they didn't get to us, so they may have had such a medrash. But upon him, their sources in their own right. In amongst you, meaning in every yid. Para 11 goes into those paratim. But it is the Shalah, yeah, it's the Shalah also. Rishis Chacham, but the Al Shalah is a classic Kabbalah Svarim. So through in each his individual avodah nasa boy in him happens hasharas hashchina, the dwelling of the Shechina, Vishkin La'ad, they draw down the level of La'ad. That's the Shechina, the Sheikhanad Maamorim v'Kadosh in him. Noisef Lakach, in addition to the fact that the Avodas Kol Yisrael, Peil in Ma'inyan, the V'shachan Teki Pshutoi. In the world, the Mishkan of a Mikdash, in addition to the divine presence being drawn down into the Mishkan of Mikdash, it's drawn into him. The Maamorim continues. This is why one of the main avodas in the Mishkan. When you know karbonis is karbonis. The Pirush karban who the word karban means kiru, drawing near, should be namata v'amayla, and nearness between the upper and the lower, the world in Hashem. Which begs the question: if the Makkah is the Zohar, why do you need a bein? Why is he called a bein b'chayim? Mamsheh b'mayim. We're continuing now the next dose. Could be he wants to say that since it's brought in the classic Pirush and the Chumash, it's shaykh to everyone. You're saying it. This had an understanding. The meaning of korban is the kir of shebein amata v'amayim. Could be. So the Maamorim continues now. Okay. Where is this? We're holding here, Perigimel. Okay. Shekolosian Mishkan, who what's the Mishkan? Mishkos Vesas Vasis, Zakaroshin the Mishkan. You should make the boards for the Mishkan. Let's say Shittim Imdim, see acacia wood, cedar wood standing upright. The Shittim Beloshen Shtus, Shittim from the Loshen Shtus. How so? Folly. The Shita Pirushanitia. Shita means to veer. Sorry? To steer, turn away from a particular given straight path. That's what foolishness is. Why would a person do that? That's the shtus of the lumazeh. As Chazal say, a person will never sin if not for a spirit of folly that enters him. So we have to take this avodah lahapich lasis mezeh kroshim lemishkan. We have to take this very shtus and make a kroshim lemishkan. So we're destined to be crazy. That's part of who we are. The only choice is good crazy or bad crazy. So you have to be transform it into kroshim lemishkan. Zeh gamadik b'tevas kroshim. So he just explained now the meaning of atzei shittim. Now the diak in atzei kroshim. The keresh, I say sheker. Keresh is the same letters as the word sheker. The emes havaya lo'olam. Sheker is the opposite of the truth that Hashem is the only reality. We have to transform the lie of the world. And make it a keresh for the mishkan and mikdash. In brackets, he adds mishkan, the ikre mikdash, or mikdash, the ikre mishkan, interchangeable. And the market of the Gemara in Gemara, which is why the Rambam brings Bosi the Mishkan as the pasuk for the Chiv to build the base of Mikdash, because they are called by both names. So through transforming the sheker of the world to the Mishkan, this makes the dwelling place, in which the divine presence would dwell. Now he doesn't deal with this here, but we spoke about it. It's mentioned Bekitzer. We can understand channeling shtus, craziness. So there's good craziness, destructive craziness, and there's craziness. But how do you transform a lie? A lie isn't transformed. A lie is exposed. Sheker is sheker. What does it mean? You transform a lie and you make it a keresh. Remember we explained it. It's not explicit in the Maamorim, but that's the we could say that's the pshat. Very bekitzer is what's the big lie? The lie is our sense of independence. That's the big lie, that we don't feel that emes havaya lo'olam. All I know is me. So we have to transform that, not dissolve the me. In a word, it's all about you. They wish to want to do in your life. So it is you. It's a little tweak, but it's a big tweak. It's all about me that's what the Eibishter desires. So why am I, in other words, the Yesh HaNivra, this ultimate Yeshes of independence, is really the expression of the Nis'ava Kodesh Baruch of the Yesh HaMiti. And moreover, my neshama is a part of the Yesh HaMiti. And that's the reason why it's all about me. So don't do away with this sense of all I know is me. It's a God made you, and you can never escape it. You can never escape that. Again, Descartes, I think therefore I am. You cannot escape that. Everything that you experience is all rooted in consciousness. You can't escape yourself. So you said it's a terrible thing on the surface that you can't feel what somebody else is feeling. Isn't it? It's a terrible thing. We're stuck in self. We can approximate, we hope, and get really close. But I cannot get into your heart. Why would God make us so darn selfish? so locked into yeshus, which is inescapable. That's because that's taka the kavana. You are everything. And look at another Jew, and he's everything, and everybody's everything. That's transforming l'chayda. That's what it means to transform the sheker and make it a kesher. Yeah, which is the ultimate bittul, the ultimate empowerment at the same time. God Almighty wants a relationship with little me. Not just he wants nisava, he craves it. It's not negotiable. And for this relationship, you've been mevazav the oitris, and everything is cast to the everything. Everything. So that I overcome my struggle with Yitzhar and allow God in.